Hey everyone, welcome to another episode from Pro Engineering. A friend of mine just called me and said, look what I bought. So this is the Toyota Land Cruiser version of the EZRC Arizona, which is based on, well, I mean, aesthetically on a Jeep Wrangler or whatever the new Wrangler is. I'm not up to speed on these things. Anyway, I told him not to open it and that I would like to go ahead and unbox this for everyone here. I'm assuming that this is going to be identical to the Arizona, but I thought everyone might like to see that. Again, there's no anything here telling us that this is a Toyota, so obviously this is unlicensed. It is 1/18th scale. Yeah, I like all this molded hard bodies. It was very nice. Scale interior, oh, that's good. Anyway, if you want to read that, go ahead and hit pause. Here we go. This is the same note that they had with the Arizona. These are very well packaged, and that's always important to see, especially given that they're sometimes shipped from quite far away. Very nice. Still got that, it's got that weighted look about it. I really like that. I mean, it kind of looks heavy. It really isn't, but it just looks like it is. Okay, so our instruction manual, some little tidbits here, and a white remote to match the white car. The Jeep was painted. This one here doesn't appear to be. This is just an injection molded white body. It looks fine. It's unfortunate that it's not in a brighter color. I'm a big fan of bright colors. So like the Arizona, the hood opens and it says peel off. If you get a finger in there. I know I could get a screwdriver, but that's, oh, there it goes, okay. So that's open. Peel that off. It's left quite a lot of adhesive on there. You can't see it, but it's sticky. So we'll have to address that. And great, I've closed the hood now. There we go, it's open again. Annoyingly, it's got that same style on and off switch where you actually have to open everything up. Let's see if this has any charge from the factory. And let's put in some AA's. Okay, we turn the car back on, and it's auto bound. I'm curious how the steering will behave if it's like the other one where it kind of maxes. Yeah, see, it maxes out and then has a bunch of other travel. Fully proportional, feels really good like the Arizona did. So we have headlights. Turn signals. So the turn signals are mounted in the wrong spot. That would be the low beam, and this would be the high beam. So, oh well, close enough. What about at the rear? We have left signal, and that's just reverse. The accessories look really nice. Got a little sunroof at the top. We have enough of an interior. It's not the full interior, but it's enough of one. So just going over the paperwork, and there's nothing particularly interesting about it, but I did notice one thing. Here we have Patriot, yet here we have Patriot. That's I don't know. I'm assuming the real name is Patriot. One thing that's actually pretty good in this manual is that it says right here, use common sense when selecting the environment to operate your vehicle. I like that. Oftentimes people do overdo the environment that a vehicle is designed for. So for example, this may be capable of climbing some small rocks and going down some average trails. It is in no way waterproof. So please do not subject this to any kind of moisture, no mud, none of that. It won't survive. I like the roof lights. They're very cool, but they don't work. However, they do have little mounts here for 3mm LEDs, so you can make those work and perhaps run them off of a separate battery pack. Speaking of battery packs, I was quite surprised to see that there was a second battery in this bag here. I don't know if my buddy picked one that came with 2 batteries. I know that is sometimes an option. So we've got one here and one there. Same USB charger, and I use these pretty often. In fact, to be honest, like when I go on trips, I usually will use these kind of USB chargers to charge several thousand milliamp batteries. Just plug them in all night and they're good in the morning. The radio, other than being white, as I mentioned before, is just like the one that came with the other vehicle I reviewed. And, you know, I like it. You know, it feels pretty good. Again, my finger seems a little smushed down here, but that's just probably because of my hand. I feel like the base is a little bit too big, but, you know, it feels good. I like the color. I like that it has a little bit of variation on it. So I really hate these little tack switches. I would much prefer a little knob, but these are definitely cheaper. One thing to note about this overall look, it is very scale. I think they did a sensational job of making this thing look like it should. It's got full wheel arches on the inside, so that's really nice. I think the wheel and tire size is appropriate for this vehicle. I like the little mountain range they have on the side, but please note that this is a clear decal in a lot of these areas where the black is not printed. And what this means is that the dirt will work its way through the little crevices here on the side moldings, and this is just going to look like crap. It's just going to get all the dirt in there. So what I would do is make it easy on yourself and just peel it off. It's simply not going to survive. It's a good attempt, but it's not going to work. I suppose if you wanted, you could fill in the little gaps with a bit of paint or even glue, just to kind of prevent the dirt from getting in here, but it's not worth it to me. I love the overall look on this. In fact, what I noticed, if you look through the top, it doesn't have a full interior. It has a lot of the interior. It's missing the side door panels and all that, but they went to the extent of actually painting the seats gray, or I should say molding, and doing the center console and the dash in black. So that's a nice attention to detail. I do want to talk about its size in relation to another RC that some of you may have seen on this channel. So I'm really surprised about this. This is the WPL Toyota Land Cruiser, and this is, they claim to be 1/16th scale. To be honest, looking at the photographs, I had just figured that they had used this body and just put it on their own chassis. But that's impossible. I mean, this is way, way smaller than this. But in photographs, I mean, the detail is quite exceptional on this car. And again, you can see how much bigger the WPL is. It's okay, so I got the back bumpers lined up. It's a good 50 to 60 millimeters, or a little over 2.5 inches shorter than the WPL. This is also a good time to let you know what scale you might be interested in. Being 1/16th scale, I always run this truck pretty lightly, given the fact that it's not going to be capable of going over large terrain. And, you know, the Patriot over here is going to have that exact same issue, just amplified, given that it's a lot smaller. But to be honest, I was really surprised at how well its Jeep variant, I probably shouldn't call it that, how well its Jeep variant did. I did it again, didn't I? How well, I'm just going to stop, how well the yellow one did, given its size, because it went over stuff that usually I'll take this one over. There are some things on this that can be done up a little nicer. I think it, you know, for scale purposes, taking the body off, properly painting the taillights, the moldings around the windows, kind of what I did to this one over here. But they've done such an excellent job of this. It's not going to take much to really make this thing look good. And the thing is, its wheel and tire combination is actually a lot better than the WPL. These are way too big, to me anyway. I don't know, maybe they're the same scale, but I swear that these just are too big. Looking at the chassis, this drive shaft is incredibly robust looking. I'm very happy about that. The front shocks have appropriate feel to them. There's a lack of flash. I'm even seeing a quality control stamp back here. Now, all jokes aside, this is not something to laugh at. Usually when things like this are cost reduced, the first thing you get rid of are the quality guys. The fact that EZRC actually has quality control stamping stuff, I mean, granted, this just could be some random stamp, but it's possible that they're going the extra mile to ensure that these are fully operational when they do get into the consumer's hands. Given the fact that all the screws are nicely installed, the molds look rock solid, they're definitely on the right track to providing us with a quality feeling vehicle. What I want to do now is take this guy out for a little drive. They started redoing our street a month ago. So now, and that's not mine. So now it's just dirt. It might be hard to see here, but there's a number of grooves in this direction over here from power sliding into the driveway every day. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Let's try and get this little guy down. There we go. Take advantage of the off-roadness-ish. I think every trail truck I have could get up this little step here. It's about 75 millimeters or so, 3 inches. Let's see if this guy can do it. Oh, be damned. If I get the drive shaft over that break in the concrete. Okay, yeah. Ooh, I think we might get this. We're close. Damn it. Oh, it wants to. It did it. Perfect. No help at all from my foot. I really like this truck. I like the Jeep. I like this one more because I prefer this type of body style. Not a massive fan of the Land Cruiser, but again, I like the whole SUV style. And I love all of that. You see, it just looks like it's really, really heavy. It looks ponderous, but it seems to behave really, really well. I wouldn't drive it over any kind of aggressive surface, any big rocks or any of that. This is a trail truck. This is definitely a trail truck, but the question is, do you want one? So these aren't particularly inexpensive. They're a little over $100. I think 120, 130. Again, it really depends on where you're getting it and when you're getting it. There is a link, by the way, in the description of where my buddy got it from Banggood, and that seems to be the best price I can find. I did show earlier the WPL. The thing is, this guy is going to cost, I believe, still more than this. You're looking at about $50 or so for the chassis, add another $30 to $40 for the body, and this one still costs more. Now, with that said, there's a lot of things that are a bit better quality. Again, you know, the suspension is a lot nicer. It's a lot better designed. It's less sloppy. I think the tires are better. These tires are a little bit too stiff. This servo appears to be very good. I do adore these WPLs, but like, you know, I've gone ahead and put the 2-speed transmission in them because I typically find that the standard motor is far too weak. This one here, I think this motor is way tinier, but the gear reduction in it is fantastic. Plus, there's a lot more of these 1/18 scale vehicles out there to choose from. RC 4-wheel drive makes some spectacular ones, but again, they're a lot more expensive. The thing is, the purpose of this is not to be your primary trail truck. For me, it's a car that I can throw in the big car when we go on family trips. I've said that a million times. That is where this truck gets all of its use. I've got several WPLs, and that's where they're all used, is on big family road trips. I can load up 4 of these in the place of 1 of my regular size cars. And this is going to be the same thing. You should consider getting a smaller scale RC car in the event you've got a larger one. Don't go for this if it's your first RC car. It's going to limit you. You want to get something like this WPL. Again, there's a link to this as well in the description. One of these WPLs, which is a bit bigger than this, or even something like around a 1/12 scale. Should you have a big car and you want something to keep at the office in a drawer or to bring with you on trips, this is a pretty good one. Definitely do your homework. There's a lot of body styles, there's a lot of different manufacturers. But given that I've driven 2 of these so far and they've both been incredibly good, I really have struggled to say anything negative about these vehicles. Again, folks, there's a link in the description if you're interested in this as well as the WPL. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think my buddy has got another one of these on order, but a different body style, perhaps a third. I didn't know they made one, so stay tuned for that. And I hope this video was informative. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.